It's Tony Marino, host of the super popular NEWSMAX Daily podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of NEWSMAX shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the NEWSMAX Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
We saw this in World War II when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland.
Oops.
So the United States was then compelled. We did it. We felt an obligation to do it.
Yeah.
To send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did.
Yes, we
did. At great cost and expense.
Yeah.
They didn't have a chance of getting on it. And they tried. Denmark knows that. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere.
Pretty
so
cool.
We did it for ourselves also.
That's right.
And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese.
There you
perhaps.
go. Now, that is a line I haven't heard in a while, and it was so glorious today in Davos. Donald Trump said if it wasn't for the United States, you ought to be speaking German or maybe a little Japanese. Oh, it's so good. It's just so good. The United States is there. The United States is back. We don't have President Pudding for Brains making a poopy and barely able to speak a word. We are back. We are stronger than ever. And not only are we giving the world what fur right now, we're reminding them how frigging important America is, because if not for us, again, you'd be speaking German, maybe a little Japanese. Certainly, you'd be speaking Russian. There you go. What a day. What a day. Hi, welcome to the show. Please come inside. You know what? I would say that I just stopped doing show prep, but I do show prep during the show. So there is that. A lot of stuff happening. Donald Trump over there in Davos speaking to the elites over there. Al Gore still, preaching about global warming, climate change, murder hornets, ozone holes, acid rain. Nobody's listening as he flies over in his private jet because this whole climate change nonsense has been exposed. So he's doing these little roundtables in little conference halls. He used to be broom closets, about 5 people showing up just to hear Al Gore speak. It is pretty funny. But I did listen to a little bit of the president's speech this morning at Davos. And it was great. Of course, the left is freaking out. I get all these idiots on my feed on Twitter. Oh yeah, it was a rambling speech. It was a rambling speech. No, it wasn't actually. He's so comfortable in his skin talking to these uptight elites over there that he just kind of meanders, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come over there. I'm going to remind you how important we are. And they all, by the way, gave him a big old standing ovation when they came in because they know who butters their bread. Thank you very much. They do. Here's the President Donald Trump talking about how we are the only ones in the world, and we are, to be able to defend Greenland.
Greenland is a vast, almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory. It's sitting undefended in a key strategic location between the United States.
No. Denmark can protect Greenland. Just kidding. That's ridiculous.
Russia and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle.
Yes.
Wasn't important nearly when we gave it back. When we gave it back, it wasn't the same as it is now.
No.
It's not important for any other reason, everyone talks about the minerals. There's so many places. There's no rare earth.
Yeah.
No such thing as rare earth. There's rare processing, but there's so much rare earth. And to get to this rare earth, you got to go through hundreds of feet of ice.
A mile of ice. Yeah.
That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security. And
no. You're a colonizer. You're going in there to. Well, how do you colonize a place that has been colonized by white people from Denmark 300 years ago? I kind of wonder about that. Why aren't they saying anything about that? Why are the Denmarkians? Why? Excuse me. Why aren't they being called out for being white colonizers? That's what I want to know. Because, I mean, of all the places, I mean, really, they really were. Denmark, the Danes, they not so friendly to the indigenous population of Greenland. They even went so far as involuntarily sterilizing women. That's what they did over there in Denmark. And they haven't done anything about Denmark, haven't done anything to develop Greenland at all. The people of this space, it's a welfare state. It's like I don't know, a Somali neighborhood in Minnesota. It is kind of that way, but we're here to protect it. Here, this is kind of an interesting thing. I thought was kind of fun, kind of a warning shot over the rest of the world's bow. Donald Trump brings up the U.S. military again. We're the only ones who can protect Denmark. But listen to this. This sends a very powerful message to the rest of the world. Bleep around and find out.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark.
Yeah.
How stupid were we to do that?
I know.
But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now?
Yeah.
So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about.
No. But let's go ahead and hear about them.
2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up.
Nope.
There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on?
I know.
Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, better go back to the drawing board because, and the word's getting out that we are once again back and badder than ever, more powerful than you could possibly imagine, without men wearing skirts in positions of power in the military, and to people who would warn China if we were going to have an imminent attack. You remember Mark Milley and all of that. But here is this is so funny. These are the kind of people who sip lattes and raise their pinky finger while they're doing that and cross their legs like Gavin Newsom. And by the way, Scott Bessent went after Gavin Newsom today. It was so funny. It is just priceless. It's priceless. Oh my God, America's back. It's so wonderful. But this is the president of Finland. I'll bet you don't know his name because nobody does, because as Scott Bessent said, Denmark is irrelevant. That's what he said. But he is saying, listen to this. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Despite saving Europe's ass twice last century, and again, keeping the world from having to learn German, Russian, or Japanese. He says that, you better sit down for this, Europe can defend itself without America.
First is a direct answer to the question of this panel. Can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans. I mean...
How?
Look...
But you're relying on them for these key elements.
We'll ride in on a brigade, riding unicorns, waving our wands of magic weapons.
How would you do it at scale and at duration and at intensity?
With an assumption that
we'll fire glitter bombs at them.
The United States would cut off completely any kind of work.
Yeah.
Well, if we look at the defense composure of Europe by and large, in a country like Finland, so how do we do it?
Yeah.
We have conscription. 1 million have done it. We can...
if you tried to take on anybody in the world, you'd be like your population. Finished!
Mobilized 280,000 soldiers within weeks.
Sure.
We have 60...
We'll just slap them to death. We'll slap them. 2
F-18s. Your next question is going to be...
We have 2 F-18s.
Do they fly without Americans? No, they don't. But do we trust that they will continue to fly because it's in the interest of America to do so? Yes. Yeah. We just bought 64 F-35s.
Yeah, so?
We have the biggest artillery in Europe together with Poland.
Yeah, sure.
We have long-range...
Yeah, but I don't think Poland's on your side. They're on our side.
...missiles, land, sea, and air. We don't have these because we're worried about Stockholm, right?
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that if you ask me the question that can the Finnish military defend itself against a Russian attack, the whole defense posture of the way in which you do it, yes, we can.
Speak softly and wave a flaccid stick. Good luck with that there, Finland. My God, good luck with that, Finland. I mean, really, honestly, wow. Just wow. The hubris of these people who we had to bail out twice last century to keep the world from speaking Russian, of course, German and Japanese is magnificent. It really is. Sorry, I get a kick out of it. I love that America is powerful again. I love that he's given the elites a little what for. We got audio coming up. Scott Besson going after Gavin Newsom. We got all sorts of stuff that I think you're going to completely enjoy. Oh yeah, Donald Trump says, by the way, we're not going to use force to take Greenland, and that, of course, that made the Finnish Prime Minister President feel a sigh of relief.
We never asked for anything. And we never got anything. Nope. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force.
Uh-oh.
Where
you can almost hear the butts clenching.
Would be, frankly, unstoppable.
Yes.
But I won't do that.
Release.
Okay, now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
Nah.
All the United States is asking for is a place called Greenland, where we already had it as a trustee, but respectfully returned it back to Denmark not long ago after we defeated the Germans, the Japanese, the Italians, and others in World War II.
Yeah, we kind of did. We pretty much kicked some butts. So all we're asking for, guys, is Greenland. What's the problem? Here's Jim Gossett on the Rob Carson Show.
What can make us safer?
What can make us safer?
In the hemisphere.
In the hemisphere.
What can force the Russians and Chinese to watch their rear?
What?
Greenland. Oh yes, Greenland can.
Greenland can.
We'd like to buy it and make it so much better, like we said we would.
Yeah, because it kind of sucks now.
A deal I'd like to make. I don't want to take Greenland with the military. Hope that isn't necessary.
It won't be.
A conflict there would be quite scary.
And this long, actually, yeah.
What could be strategic?
What could be strategic?
To the USA.
To the USA.
Come to the table, Denmark. We could make a deal today for Greenland. You should sell us Greenland.
You should sell us Greenland.
Sell us Greenland because a hefty price we are prepared to pay.
Yeah, you don't want to pay it either, by the way.
After we own Greenland, the Panama Canal will also be in play.
There it is. That is Jim Gossett. You're only going to hear it on the Rob Carson Show. Let's take a break and come back. This is, again, the Rob Carson Show.
What can make us safer?
What can make us safer?
In the hemisphere.
In the hemisphere.
What can force the Russians and Chinese to watch their rear? Greenland. Oh yes, Greenland can.
Greenland can.
We'd like to buy it and make it so much better, like we said we would. A deal I'd like to make. I don't want to take Greenland with the military. Hope that isn't necessary. A conflict there would be quite scary. What could be strategic?
What could be strategic?
To the USA.
To the USA.
Come to
the table, Denmark. We could make a deal today for Greenland.
Greenland.
You should sell us Greenland.
Sell us Greenland.
Sell us Greenland because a hefty price we are prepared to pay. After we own Greenland, the Panama Canal will also be in play. Lemon, Donnie Lemon. It's looking like his future's really bleak. His defense, it is extremely weak. I hope a lengthy sentence they will seek. Don Lemon's in trouble. He is really up a creek. The DOJ is after him. Hard time they're gonna seek. Prosecute. Donnie should be in the pen, or he'll do it again. It's a matter of when for Lemon. Donnie Lemon. I hope he appears in court this week. Sentiment against him's reached a peak. And I hope a harsh sentence, a very hefty sentence, a sentence against Lemon they will see.
Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details. So we want a piece of ice for world protection.
Piece of ice, baby.
And they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative.
Yes.
Or you can say no, and we will remember.
We will remember. There you go. Somebody called up the hotline here, 800-922-6680. I don't know if it's really hot, but anyway. She said, that the greatest thing to ever come out of Denmark is Lego. And I said, I believe that's what their military is made of. And they haven't glued it together so it's permanent, so it can be easily destroyed. Oh, I just love it. I love it. Donald Trump going in there. It's like that. It's kind of like, you ever seen the movie Christmas Vacation when Randy Quaid shows up? We're Randy Quaid showing up to a stuffy dinner party. That's what Donald Trump in America is right now, and except for we're smart version of Randy Quaid. It is pretty cool. Mark Carney is the Prime Minister candidate. He's an idiot. I'll tell you what, Carney is a moron. I've been talking to Michael Charbon about this and giving him a little what for about his stupid prime minister who's bedding down with China. I mean, honestly, Canada, freaking like Denmark, the revenge, like Denmark with more square footage. Honestly, that's what Canada is. It's Denmark with a lot more square footage. I mean, honestly. But here is Mark Carney. He's sticking by Denmark and of course Greenland, and he's not going to have any choice with this. By the way.
On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
Yeah, tepid applause. Yeah. It's almost, honestly, really. Oh, okay, sorry. Canada stands by Denmark. Okay, well, the United States better stay out of the way because old Canada, honestly, we could send a Girl Scout trip to Canada and take Canada out. It would be that easy. Here's a little bit more from Mark Carney, who's not going to be the premier of Canada much longer, by the way.
I'd like to know what Canada is doing to protect the integrity of Greenland. And related, China fashions itself a near Arctic power, and with some claims to Arctic resources. So I wonder if you could answer that question, what we're doing to help protect Greenland's integrity, and how do you feel about China's claims, such as they are, to Arctic resources?
Well, to several aspects of that. The first, with respect to Greenland, the future of Greenland is a decision for Greenland.
No, it's not.
And for the Kingdom of Denmark.
No, it's not.
We are NATO partners with
NATO, whatever.
Denmark, and so our full partnership stands. Our obligations on Article.
Oh, I hope Donald Trump goes after Canada. Just give him a little wet fur, and then we get Polyev in there to be the new Prime Minister of Canada, because this guy is such a tool. And not even a good tool, a worthless tool, like that little wrench they give you with IKEA furniture. You never use it again. It's just that one little hex wrench, one little thing, and it's only good on that piece of furniture, and the rest of the time it's going to sit in your junk drawer the rest of your life, that little silver wrench, and you're going to go, what the hell was that from? And you're going to go, that wardrobe that I got from IKEA that took me 2 days to put together and had no words in the instructions at all. That's how worthless this tool is. That is Mark Carney of Canada, by the way. Here's the president going after the idiocy of green energy.
Windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses, and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills. And yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China.
Weird.
Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it.
A lot of coal-fired plants, though.
Smart. China's very smart. They make them. They sell them for a fortune.
Yeah.
They sell them to the stupid people that buy them.
Yes.
But they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people.
Yeah, pretty much.
What they could look like. Yeah. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal, mostly.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true.
China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas.
Yeah.
They're starting to look at nuclear.
Yeah, there you go. So there's a little bit more from Donald Trump. I got a little bit more on this coming up, and then we're going to move into Minnesota. Christy Dome, she's going after these church invaders. Dr. Oz went up there, and Dr. Oz got harassed in Minnesota. We had subpoenas delivered, I guess, to Tim Volz, Jacob Fry, and Keith Ellison. I've got some really interesting tape from Keith Ellison, basically saying, keep the money laundering going to Somalia. We're completely cool with it. I have a good feeling, and my predictions are generally pretty darn spot on, that Keith Ellison and Tim Volz are going to spend some time in prison. So, keep that in your mind. But we got all that coming up on the on the show today. Also, a little bit later on, Nan Hayworth is going to join us on the show. So if you want to call in, 800-922-6680, a little bit more of the Davos sound. Oh, and then, of course, also there's this. The ice coverage in Minnesota. I've got some interesting statistics on the media's coverage of it. Believe it or not, this is going to be hard to believe. It's been largely negative, but like worse than you could ever imagine. No, actually, you can imagine it, because they've been doing it for a long time. Anyway, all of that is coming up. Let's take a break and come back. I want to work on the stream, which once again isn't working very well today for some reason. Maybe it's the cold. I don't know. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. You know, for years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/newsmax. Go to shopify.com/newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution.
With talent on loan from God. And have my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife, Rush.
El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero
in all four corners of the world.
And then you came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife, Rush. No one will ever take your place, because Rush was the sunshine of our life, of our life, of our life.
Meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day behind this, the Golden EIB microphone.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is all the real stories like Sandra's. She tells us, I'd been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, finally decided to try it because nothing else has helped my back pain. With a 3-week quick start, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. Those are Sandra's own words, and it's just so gratifying to hear. I've experienced that kind of relief myself, and knowing folks like Sandra out there are feeling better makes it all worth it. Try it for yourself with a 3-week quick start. See how Relief Factor could be a game changer too. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
foolishly followed, turning their backs on everything that makes nations rich and powerful and strong. And there's so much potential in so many nations.
Yeah.
The result was record budget and trade deficits and a growing sovereign deficit driven by the largest wave of mass migration in human history. We've never seen anything like it. Quite frankly, many parts of our world are being destroyed before our very eyes, and the leaders don't even understand what's happening. And the ones that do understand aren't doing anything about it. Virtually all of the so-called experts predicted my plans to end this failed model would trigger a global recession and runaway inflation. But we have proven them wrong. It's actually just the opposite. In 1 year, our agenda has produced a transformation like America has not seen in over 100 years.
Oh, yes, that is Donald Trump in Davos. Davos, talking to the elites of the world, the rich boy frat boys, the rich frat boys of the world in Davos. And, wow, just unbelievable. Our stream is having some issues today, by the way, because we're supposed to have an engineer come look at it, but they never showed. So we're working on that right now. A little bit more from Davos, including Donald Trump talking about the 2020 election. He had some stuff to say about the 2020 election, which was kind of interesting. And I know we shouldn't say anything about the 2020 election, because if we did say that it isn't and wasn't free and fair, that would be disinformation, you see. But he said it on the world stage yesterday, and it was pretty good. Pretty good what he said there. Looking at the price of gold, here we go. You ready for this? It's flirting with $5,000. I'm getting literally alerts in my Twitter feed and my mailbox saying gold is flirting with $5,000 an ounce. Unbelievable. 48.08 right now. 48.08. Gold, silver above $92 an ounce. It's unbelievable what is happening in the world, and a lot of it has to do with uncertainty. While Donald Trump is giving the world a little what for, while he's trying to get them, to figure it out, pull their heads out of their butts, as it were, everybody is freaking out. And you need something that is rock solid. You need something that has had value forever and more valuable than in history. More valuable than in the history. That we've been, using gold as currency, that we've been supporting our currency with gold. More valuable ever than in our lifetimes. Never before. Approaching $5,000 an ounce. Birch Gold. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Get the ball rolling right now. I told you till the end of the month. You could get up to $10,000 a rebate with qualifying purchases for Birch Gold. So, text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. You can roll your IRA or 401k into gold. I don't think I need to tell you again that gold was $2,600 last year, and now it's $48.08, but I guess I kind of just did. Silver was $30 this time last year. It's $92 today. Get her done. Just do it right now. Text my name, Rob. Just go 989898 to the number when you're writing, and then in the body of the text, Rob. There you go. That's going to get the ball rolling. Do it for Birch Gold. Here is Donald Trump talking about and weaving in the 2020 elections into his diatribe at Davos.
Thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and it wouldn't have started if the 2020.
He's talking about Ukraine, Russia.
U.S. presidential election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be.
Yeah.
It was a rigged election.
Hold on. Not only was it rigged and stolen, but what?
Election weren't rigged. It was a rigged election.
Yeah.
Everybody now knows that. They found out.
Yeah.
People will soon be prosecuted.
What? People are going to be prosecuted. Did you hear that? People who have been silenced, you and me, people who for the last 5 years have been screaming, 6 years now, screaming about this, told them what we believed was disinformation and misinformation. All of every conservative viewpoint, disinformation, misinformation. This is the biggest one of all. And he says people are going to get prosecuted. This is the retribution the left was afraid of. They said if Donald Trump's he's going to do retribution. Meanwhile, Democrats are saying when we get back in office, there's going to be retribution. Oh my goodness.
For what they did. It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election.
Yeah.
You can't have rigged elections.
That's disinformation.
You need strong borders,
Yes.
strong elections,
Yes.
and ideally a good press. I always say it.
Would that be great?
Strong borders, strong elections,
Yeah.
free, fair elections,
Yeah.
and a fair media.
That
The
would be
media is
nice.
terrible. It's very crooked. It's very biased.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think they've kind of gotten their act straightened out after 97% negative coverage of Donald Trump for the last 10 years. I mean, certainly they get the things fixed in reporting on ICE in Minneapolis is good, right?
Sincerely confused because it appears the DHS message about ICE agents going after criminal illegal immigrants has now fallen on deaf ears.
Oh, really?
The protesters are still loud, violent, defiant. Their political leaders are still launching obscenities in hopes of stirring the pot. And the media still sees what it wants to see.
Yeah.
After the shooting of Renee Good, the coverage of ICE on CBS, NBC, and ABC was 93% negative.
Wow, imagine that. They just don't learn, do they? They really don't learn, do they? Even though they are in a death spiral. CBS is over here trying to act like they're being impartial once again, trying to save their rear ends after Barry Weiss was brought in as a news director and after they got sued and Donald Trump won $16 million for them surreptitiously editing an interview with Kamala Harris that made her sound like she wasn't an idiot, which is a giant lie. Isn't it just amazing? They haven't learned a bloody thing, have they? Haven't learned a bloody thing. But there you go. There you go. Here is Donald Trump going after all of the nonsense, doomsayers, alarmists. Have you ever noticed this? With the left, everything is about to collapse. Everything's going to die. Everybody's going to die. With COVID, everybody's going to die. With global cooling, everybody's going to die. With the ozone hole, everybody's going to die. With whatever, everybody's going to die. With Donald Trump, trying to fix healthcare in the country, everybody's going to die. And guess what? Nobody ever dies.
To embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. They are the heirs of yesterday.
The crazy thing about end of world predictions, the one thing they all have in common is they never happened.
Today's foolish fortune tellers, and I have them, and you have them, and we all have them.
You don't have evidence of that. I'll just leave it at that.
And they want to see us do badly, but we don't let that happen. They predicted an overpopulation crisis in the 1960s, mass starvation in the 70s, and an end of oil in the 1990s.
Acid rain.
These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country, or eradicate our liberty. America will always be the proud, strong, and unyielding bastion of freedom.
Yeah, that's in Davos, by the way. And then, of course, over in a little conference room that held about 8 people, used to be a broom closet, here's Al Gore.
My country, we had 12 once-in-a-thousand-year downpours in a 3-day period last year. Just shocking in my home state.
Okay, did it also happen in Iowa, Idaho, Indiana, Missouri, New York, Maine, California?
Tennessee, and even more in
No, global climate change only happens in Tennessee.
neighboring North Carolina and
North Carolina.
parts of Georgia.
Yeah.
We had such a downpour that in 4 days there was as much rainfall
as Superstorm Sandy
as would fall over the largest waterfall in 2.5 years. It's been quite dramatic in the Los Angeles fires.
Yeah, and you've been wrong about everything. I think you said that the polar ice caps would be gone by now, but we'd still have to drill through a mile of ice to get to precious metals in Greenland. All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can forget my name while you collect your claim.
That was Donald Trump making fun of Emmanuel Macron et fromage yesterday because he wore sunglasses because maybe his wife smacked him.
Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
Listen to the crowd. Oh, my God. It's so fantastic. It is so fantastic. He has just given them a little what for over there in Davos. It has just been a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. Oh, just real quick. The Republican Party in the state of Virginia, where I decided to reside and may, and I mean this seriously, it's not a threat or anything, I'm just saying, may end up moving from here at the end of my apartment lease sometime this year. The Republican Party of Virginia decided to listen to Glenn Youngkin, who is not all of the things that he did for Virginia were bad. He's just kind of a rhino. And so they put up this Winsome Sears as a gubernatorial candidate who has the charisma of a sloth. And consequently, she got her rear end handed to her, and we lost the election. The Republicans lost the election in the state of Virginia to a nutbag Karen from hell named Abigail Spamberger. I call her Spamberger. It's actually Spanburger, or Burger. What the hell? I call her the Burgermeister Spamberger, whatever the hell. And so she has become the governor, and now they got a supermajority in the legislature in Virginia of a bunch of leftist idiots. So what's happening in the state of Virginia? First and foremost, they're getting rid of minimum sentences for things like child molestation and child rape. That's one of the things they're doing. And then they're going to introduce all this green energy stupidity into Virginia that has failed everywhere else. So Virginia is about to become New York City and Seattle. And you know, I got to tell you, I know a lot of people in Virginia who wear these have these Gadsden flag license plates ain't going to stand for this bull crap. But here is Brett Baer talking yesterday about essentially what happens when you put up crappy, weak candidates who are not MAGA candidates, by the way, like Winsome Sears in the state of Virginia. And here's the thing about this wretched, awful, crazy cat lady Karen Abigail Spamberger is that she didn't campaign on any of this. She didn't campaign about any of this. So realize this, that any Democrat, I don't care if you think that they are somehow a centrist, this is what they want for your state. This is why we need to continue their death spiral into hell. because this is what these a-holes want to do for Virginia.
The governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, ran for that office as a moderate.
Yeah, no, sure. But why is she doing this?
But the executive order that she talked about is state and local police not cooperating with ICE to get criminal illegal immigrants. Yeah. There's also a list of, now the Democrats control the legislature, that a number of bills that have been put forward. You can't read it here, but let me just go through it. Sales tax on Uber Eats, Amazon. Sales tax on admissions to a variety of businesses. Create 2 new higher tax brackets. 10% tax bracket for anyone making over $1 million. 3.8 investment tax. Raise the hotel tax. New personal property tax.
It gets into really stupid here pretty quick.
On landscaping equipment. Ban gas-powered leaf.
Yeah, ban gas-powered leaf blowers. That's just stupid. Gas-powered leaf blowers don't do D word for Richard to the environment, and most people who have landscaping companies rely on them. But these idiots want to make everybody in the state of Virginia get rid of their gas-powered leaf blowers. Well, guess what? You can have it when you pry it out of my cold, dead hands. And guess what? That ain't going to happen either.
Blowers. Guarantee illegal aliens free education. Make it illegal to...
Did you hear that? Free education for illegals. Yeah.
Approach somebody at an abortion clinic. Extend the time...
Arrest you if you approach an abortion clinic and you talk to somebody.
Absentee ballots can be received after Election Day. Allow people to cast their votes electronically through the internet. Expand ranked choice voting. Extend the deadline for ballot curing.
They want to steal the elections here in perpetuity.
Redact the addresses of political candidates from FOIAs. Add Virginia to the National Popular Vote Compact. Make it illegal to hand count ballots. $500 sales tax on...
Make it illegal to hand count ballots.
Firearm suppressors, assault weapons at large capacity, magazine ban, 11%.
Going after the Second Amendment.
Sales tax on all firearms and ammunition. Prohibit outdoor shooting of a firearm less than 5 acres. Lower the criminal penalties for robbery. Ban the arrest of illegal aliens in courthouses. Remove mandatory minimum sentences. Allow localities to install speed cameras and replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day.
That's going back to square one. That's everything we beat nationally in 2024. That is the Democrat Party right now, and they need to be wiped out of existence. I will be doing my level best to work with others in the state of Virginia to block this nonsense and eventually consider a recall. But I have talked to several people who I worked with regard to the last election, and I'm getting a limp-wristed response, to say the least, from some of those individuals. And so, Virginia, this is what you got. And you guys in Fairfax and Loudoun County who were so butthurt that Donald Trump was actually sizing down the federal government after 94% of you didn't go back to your government jobs in person after COVID for 5 years, look what you get. Look what you're not getting your jobs back, but now you're going to be paying a whole lot more for everything else. This is your Democrat Party. This is what is in their hearts and what's left of their tattered and broken and dark souls. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys. Hi, guys. I'm told we have an engineer coming to try to fix this today. I'm thinking it would probably be a good idea, and I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your patience very much for sticking in here. Hello, Tom K. and Valentina. Valentina says, our famous and not so rep talk show host, but I'm from Philly, Jersey, former Marine, 55 years old. I don't know what that's all about, but that's good to know. Let's see, we got Tom K. over there. We got Carrie R. Corley. No, don't you be making fun of Taco Bell. Ain't nothing wrong with Taco Bell. Rob, move south of the Mason-Dixon line. You know, I would, but I kind of want to be here because of its proximity to Washington, D.C. But I am going to have to figure out something with regard to that. Let's see who's over here. Mickey Hastings. Mickey says, hi, Rob. The Max Headroom look is fine. We got you. No, it's not fine. We're supposed to be a professional organization that has a stream that actually you can depend on. We don't know what the issue is, but we're going to figure it out. All right, look who's watching on the X. We've got a lot of people watching on X, despite the glitching and the nonsense. Ooh, look at that headline from Newsmax. Gold prices extended their record run to reach $4,800 per ounce Wednesday. Unbelievable. All right, we got more coming up here. Hold on one second here.
So
here we go. Oh, I got to do this. 56. Man, what, 3.5, Brian? Okay, so here's Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary. You better sit down for this because it's spectacular. Shredding Gavin Newsom. Why is he there? They haven't even fixed the Palisades homes that were destroyed by fire. They've stolen tens of billions of dollars for high-speed rail and Medicaid fraud, among other things, and homelessness.
That, Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros.
They're sharing a room.
And the Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals.
No, it's actually $1,000 bottles of wine
at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse.
Wow.
And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking. Because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America,
That's true.
And the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless.
Unbelievable. Spectacular. This is just so glorious, and he is such a snot. Who in the hell? Gavin Newsom is in Davos now. While 12,000 homes burned down and fewer than a dozen have been rebuilt, $24 billion in homelessness completely gone. The state now has like an $18 billion deficit, I should say, spending. And the only way that they're going to be able to raise that is to raise taxes. They've already raised taxes high enough, and they want this new billionaires tax, which is already causing billionaires to leave the state of California. Let's just say California is on a high-speed rail to hell. That's the way it is. And you know what Virginia just did? They said, here, California, hold my beer. That's what Virginia just did with Abigail Spamberger, whatever the hell she is. I mean, honestly, just ridiculous. But don't worry. The left is failing everywhere else. We got some great news coming out of Minnesota. It looks like some people are going to be arrested for that invasion of the church. There's some other stuff going on there. Dr. Oz went up there to go to some of these medical facilities, supposedly, and daycare centers, and they chased him out, Dr. Oz, among other things. All of that is coming up in hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
created the commission to study back against redistricting.
Let me share Brian's story from Alabama. He tells us about Relief Factor, trying it for just 3 weeks.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Yes, this is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 of the show. I, of course, do the show within a stone's throw of the capital of the United States of America. If you can throw a stone 7 miles. So anyway, I'm very close to it, by the way. And I went to the swamp yesterday. I went to a presser with members of Congress, GOP members of Congress. I'm going to share you details on that coming up here in a second. It was kind of fun. I really just went actually to hand out business cards. I'll tell you who I met in a second here. But it was kind of, there's some cool people there. And an interesting observation about members of Congress, because I haven't met very many of them. I haven't. I'm a Metallica version of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. You and I are to Washington, D.C. what Donald Trump is to the Davos crowd. We are. We're in there. We're the ones with the common sense. We're the ones that are down to earth. We're the Walmart shoppers. They're the elite over here, and they fly in their private jet. And we come in and we say, what the hell is this? What is this? Caviar? What the hell is this? Can I get a cheeseburger over here? So you and I are to the D.C. crowd what Donald Trump is to the people in Davos. It's spectacular. Spectacular. Yesterday in Davos, there was this guy, when Joe Biden was the president, the worst president in our lifetimes, probably in the history of the country, just a complete disgrace, disaster, 40% of the time spent on vacation because the auto pin and the people who are pulling his strings were making all these outrageous decisions like they just are planning on doing in Virginia. All of that bat guano and crazy bullcrap that they're going to pull over there, they did when Joe Biden was the president. And And of course, the economy tanked. We had 1 year 9+% increase in inflation and all that. I remember that year. And I always use the analogy: chicken breasts at Walmart used to be $1.88 a pound, and then that year happened, and then all of a sudden they were $2.98 on sale. I know this because I do all the shop. I know it. I was in the middle of the country. I watched people come out of retirement to have to work 2 or 3 jobs. Some worked themselves to death when Joe Biden was president. He was a sucky president. It was a joke. Nancy Pelosi said he belonged on Mount Rushmore. I said, create a new mountain, Mount Rushmore on. So anyway, there's this the CEO of a company called Citadel is over there. I want you to listen to what a relief it was when Donald Trump was elected for this man and his company. This is the reason why $18 to $20 trillion in new investment is coming to America.
You cannot imagine how painful it was each and every day under the Biden administration to look at what new crazy proposal was being put into place to solve a problem that didn't even exist. I mean, our constant friction at Citadel with the government across umpteen different aspects of our business was exhausting. And to have that literally end on one day, Election Day.
Ding dong, the wicked witch.
Just gives you so much energy as an entrepreneur to go back and build your damn business. So
this is why so many people are leaving California, have left Maryland, and will leave the state of Virginia.
The biggest sea change I've seen across American executives has been just like the giant sigh of relief. I can now go and focus on building my business.
You know, if you build a factory in the United States right now, you can write off all of your capital investment, the building, all of the equipment inside, 100%. You don't have to wait 20, 30 years. You can write it all off now. You have no idea what it's going to do. Last night I took Uber into the Capitol because I went there for a little press junket to meet a bunch of congressmen and all that, congresswomen. And I took the Uber and I talked to both of the Uber drivers. One of them was from India and the other one is from Afghanistan. And we had a delightful conversation about food and all sorts of stuff. The Indian guy, his favorite pizza is Domino's. I know. When is the last time you got that out of your Uber driver? Never. So anyway, I'm driving and I said, what do you think about the no tax on tips? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's so fantastic. And I was able to say Donald Trump's name out loud and nobody spat and went, oh, Donald Trump. They like him. Because Donald Trump is doing what has to be done for business to succeed. And if you lower taxes and regulation, allow to get out from under the gigantic this dome of taxation and regulation that kills businesses, sometimes make people go, I'm not even going to bother trying to open a business. You get rid of that and kaboom, 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 kaboom. So I go over to the Capitol. I go through security. It's interesting. I go in, and I'm standing there just shooting the bleep with the security guys, getting to know them a little bit. And all of a sudden, I see this little diminutive woman and her young husband and a toddler, 3-year-old boy, and baby in a stroller. And I realize it's Anna Paulina Luna. And here's Anna Paulina Luna standing here dealing with this little 3-year-old boy who's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And they're having to go through all these things like, well, honey, you've got to put on the coat to go outside. And they were using some kind of a story like, the coat will make it's like you're Superman's cape, or something. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was to get this kid to put his coat on. He didn't want to put his coat on to go outside, and he didn't want to go out there. And I realized that's APL, man. That's Anna Paulina Luna. So I'm watching this mom struggling to get this kid, and her husband is like, oh God, and the security guards are kind of like, laughing and all that. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm such a fan. And I shook hands with her. I told her who I was, but she was really busy and she was dealing with a kid. I thought that was kind of funny to see a Congress. And by the way, she's tiny. One thing I realized when you meet members of Congress after you see so many of them on television, you're going to want one of two things. They're either much bigger or much smaller than you thought. That's it about everything. I walked by Hakeem Jeffries, and I kind of snickered. I didn't say anything as he walked by me with his entourage, with Ted Lieu there. And I wanted to say, you guys are never going to win the midterms, but it wasn't my place at that moment, you know? So he's little. He's a little punk. But anyway, I met Claudia Tenney from New York. Love her, by the way. We had a delightful conversation. We probably talked 20 minutes about everything. Just talked about everything. We talked about food. We talked about making food. It was fun. Brandon Gill, the man, the rock star, the legend, the guy who looks like Christopher Reeves in the day when he was playing Superman. That's what he looks like. And he's about probably 6'2", slim guy, cool guy. I told him, I said, brother, every time you talk, every time you are in a Senate or a congressional hearing doing the questioning, I roll tape, man. And he was like, well, thank you very much. I met, oh my God, Lisa McClain. Lisa McClain is dynamite. She's spectacular. She's tiny. I could carry her in a baby Bjorn on my chest, facing out. I could do that during a press conference. It would be like, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. That's what she's. I put up on Twitter, I think I got the picture. No, Facebook, I got the pictures. I'll put the pictures up. When you see her, you're going to be like, she might weigh 90 pounds. Chip Roy, bigger than I thought. I thought he was a little guy. He's like 6'2". He's bigger than me, and I'm not exactly a small person. And that's all really who I met last night. I met a couple of other people, but it was kind of fun. It was fun. And again, I didn't go over there to get tape. I went over to meet people and pass out business cards. You don't want to know what the interesting things that I noticed last night when I was talking to these members of Congress. I said, well, I do this radio show, nationally syndicated radio show, and I do that TV show on Newsmax. And I said, I cut my teeth writing for Rush Limbaugh. And there were several members of Congress there. They looked at the highlight of their lives, of their political career, as when they either met Rush Limbaugh, were interviewed by Rush Limbaugh, or Rush Limbaugh mentioned them on his show. That was kind of cool. I think it was Claudia Tenney told me that. She said, yeah, he had me on his show. Can you imagine, years later, the highlight, you being on the show? I talked to this other guy, says, yeah, Rush Limbaugh mentioned something I was doing on the radio. It was and my inbox was loaded with calls. Rush Limbaugh was just talking about you. I thought that was really, really cool. So I wanted to share that. You're not going to get that from anybody else going to visit the Capitol. You're not going to get anything like that. So there you go. I thought I'd share that with you. Again, I'm a Metallica version of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with these people. Here is Donald Trump. He was interviewed yesterday talking about Jack Smith. By the way, Brian, there's a word in here you don't need to bleep, by the way.
Ended Joe Biden's weaponization of our government and removed his hand-picked radical left Marxist prosecutors.
Jack Smith's going to be questioned before a hearing this week, testifying.
From the Department of Justice, like deranged Jack Sick Smith. He's a sick son of a bitch. They gave me the worst of the worst.
Yeah, you did.
And here I am. How did that happen?
Yeah, I know.
He's a sick guy, and Letitia James is sick.
Oh, yeah.
And Alvin Bragg is sick.
Oh, yeah.
They're sick people.
Yep.
And others.
Corrupt, too.
Fanny. You can't call her Fanny.
I call her
She
Fanny.
doesn't like it. She wants to be called Fanny. Fanny Willis. I won. Can you imagine? Putting somebody through that. And then if I suggest that somebody may be guilty of a terrible crime, oh, he's weaponizing government. Trump is weaponizing government. It's terrible.
I think it's actually great. Let's take a break. We're going to the madness of Minneapolis on the other side of the break. Here's the number, 800-922-6680. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates.
680 WCBM at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoons. Stay up to date on retirement trends, how the IRA rollover process works, and why investors are turning to physical gold. Kenny is a national talk show host with decades of experience in the markets. Listen for Kenny's insights in The Gold Show every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m.
Hi, this is Scott Jennings. You've seen me battle the left on CNN for years, and now you can hear me every weeknight at 9 as I continue to slay the liberal narratives. Join me for unmatched political insight, high-impact interviews, and sharp-witted commentary that cuts through the noise. It's my job to arm you with common sense and shape the national conversation. Don't miss the Scott Jennings Show weeknights at 9, Talk Radio 680 WCBM and 99.9 FM in Harford County.
Piggy rejoin.
Hey, quick question for all the people mad at Donald Trump for calling that reporter a piggy. Would you prefer to be called her Hitler, racist, rapist, pedo, dictator, fascist? Would you prefer one of those?
Metallica! So, Iceland is trending on Twitter because Donald Trump mistakenly called Greenland Iceland. They did that hundreds and hundreds of years ago, by the way. That's why they ultimately had to name, one of them Greenland, one of them Iceland. They couldn't, they had to say that one was the other to get them to go to the other. See, Iceland, they called Iceland because it was green, and Greenland they called Greenland because it was covered with ice. And so there's been a good deal of confusion. So if you think he got some sort of a victory over Donald Trump because he mistook, and accidentally called Greenland Iceland, you think somehow he's descending into the malaise, the brain fog that Joe Biden did. Nice try. I'll just say, nice try. Not gonna work.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity?
This is just a protest.
Standing for our people. You got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do?
People in a church, this is not a protest. This is an assault. This is terrorizing people.
What do you do to stand for your Somali?
What did they do to deserve this?
All your Latino communities. I'm not going to comment. You have no comment. Exactly.
Okay, this jackass is named William Kelly, and he was out talking yesterday, because he's going to get arrested, and I'm praying to God that he goes to jail.
I mean, what we're seeing around this country is they're using their political influence to attack people that disagree with them.
It's a lie. You're an absolute liar.
They're going to come at me with charges, and I'm not scared of that.
Good.
There's no base for these charges.
Good.
I did not block them from, their service. They welcomed us in. They never asked us to leave.
No, they didn't. They did not welcome you in.
The police never came in and...
They walked out in fear, and the rest of them sat there and either covered their children's ears or read Bible verses. You jerk!
Moved us. So we didn't stop their service. In fact, people were still praying the entire time. The music was still playing
because the pastor said, calm down and just pray, and maybe they'll go away.
Entire time. So, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges?
Yes.
So be it.
Yes.
And for all the people getting...
Oh, I want to see your rear end go to jail. I'm going to laugh. I am going to cackle. I'm going to dance. I might even dance around in my underwear in my own living room by myself, which I am wont to do.
And that pastor really did a remarkable thing there, trying to protect his parishioners.
And even the parishioners, I imagine, have feel intimidated.
This is Christy Nelm talking to Greta Van Susteren on NEWSMAX.
They did, and there's going to be arrests in the next several hours, Greta. There will be arrests tied to that, and people will be brought to justice for how they violated the law in that situation.
Well, Don Lemon is a journalist, and so I thought he was going, and so when I first saw it, I assumed he was going in as a journalist covering it. I mean, I go into bad places and ask questions all the time, but when his comment about the white supremacy all of a sudden made me think, well, maybe he wasn't there as a journalist.
Yeah, well, Greta, not only that comment, but the fact that ahead of time, before this even happened, he said that he'd conducted some surveillance before they went into this church.
Yeah.
He identified individuals that were going in with him that were activists in the work that they've done in the past. The fact that this entire situation was then posted on the Black Lives Matter website, all of that is something that they're going to be responsible for.
This is brand new from Jim Gossett about Tom Lemon. I hope he likes the top bunk in jail. You never really know what the bottom bunk, if you know what I mean.
Lemon.
Donnie Lemon. It's looking like his future's really bleak. His defense, it is extremely weak.
Yeah, of course it is.
I hope a lengthy sentence they will seek.
Fingers crossed.
Don Lemon's in trouble. He is really up a creek. The DOJ is after him. Hard time they're gonna seek. Prosecute. Donnie should be in the pen, or he'll do it again. It's a matter of when for Lemon.
Donnie Lemon.
Donnie Lemon.
Donnie Lemon.
I hope he appears in court this week.
Me too.
Sentiment against him's reached a peak. And I hope a harsh sentence, a very hefty sentence, a sentence against Lemon they will see.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Pretty cool, pretty cool. Here is Scott Jennings on CNN, an island of sanity and a sea of insanity, about why this is a big deal.
If I were sitting in a church right now in Minneapolis and a bunch of people burst in, I'd be on edge, because last summer a shooter showed up at a Catholic church in Minneapolis and shot a bunch of kids. 2 died, 30 people were injured, 26 were kids. And so the terror in that church, I think, is probably warranted, if for no other reason than we've seen violence at a church in the not too distant past. We've also seen, I think, attempts to create violence and mayhem and fear in churches around the country, synagogues and other places. And so I feel like the radical left is somewhat emboldened right now.
You make a good point about the issue, but it isn't necessary to say the radical left did this. It's protest.
It's necessary to stop. It's 100% the radical left, you idiot. Dear God. Again, an island of sanity and a sea of insanity over that CNN. Really, I mean, just ridiculous. Yesterday, Jennings also was talking, apparently, there's this kid who's suddenly a panelist because he was riding his bike to Parkland before the shooting, and suddenly he's, he knows everything about everything with gun control and whatever, and he decided to tell Scott Jennings he couldn't use the words illegal aliens.
They have to chase
now
down
we're going to tell
illegals.
local law enforcement,
You're saying
step down and
illegals as
surrender.
if they're only
How about
targeting...
the government comes clean if you're saying they're doing that? Doesn't seem like they're doing that. They're actually...
You got to swim through the stupid to get to your point here.
Do not speak
I recognize,
to those words.
I recognize
you don't get to say the
reviewed
word
all the
illegals
material
anymore.
And you have.
The
diverse.
The percentage...
That's when the punk said, you can't use the word illegals anymore.
The
diverse.
The percentage...
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. Listen. I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
There you go. Illegal alien. Illegal alien. I can say that now. Yeah, because we were told we couldn't say that forever because, we were censored and everything, even though it was the absolute truth. Well, here is Kristi Noem. Do I have time? No, I don't have time. I thought I had some time for Kristi Noem. And it's becoming very clear that ICE is going after illegals who have deportation orders or criminal crimes against them, or they've been convicted. The municipalities like Minneapolis are releasing them, and that's why ICE has to go get them. In cities like Memphis, where the authorities are saying come to the jail and get them, they have no issues at all. But this is a plot by leftists in Democrat cities to foment revolution, and it's going to do a faceplant. Nan Hayworth joins us, former representative of Congress from New York, is on the way. Don't go anywhere. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama. He tells us about Relief Factor. Trying it for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain was gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I'm amazed at the relief I've gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. I've seen that kind of transformation myself, and hearing Brian's experience just reinforces why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you all. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
In libs' heads I'm living. The fits I am giving to Whoopi, Sunny, and Joy. Rent-free, I'm occupying. Rosie is lying if she says I'm not in her head. Break free, they simply can't do it. When you get down to it, they have TDS real bad. Hatred, just watch it as it spreads, because inside their heads I live.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. You know, for years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/newsmax. Go to shopify.com/newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution.
We saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese,
oh
perhaps.
My God, it's one of the best lines. One of the best lines! I got to tell you, Donald Trump in Davos saying basically, if it wasn't for America, I haven't heard this line since my dad used it. He was a World War II veteran. If it wasn't for America, you all be speaking German and a little Chinese or a little Japanese. is spectacular. Oh, my goodness. Must-see TV this morning. Nan Hayworth, first female MD to serve a full term as a member of Congress from New York. Also, NewsMax contributor, friend of the show, joins us on the NewsMax hotline. A glorious Wednesday morning to you. How are you? Or afternoon, I should say.
Well, I'm always happier and more encouraged when I get to speak with you, sir. So thank you.
There's just so much good news happening. I know that the left is trying to convince us that the sky is falling. They have forever, and then I say that the Democrat Party and the left are in a death spiral to hell. They really are, and they're dragging, kicking, and screaming, doing everything they can to be contrarian to not only Donald Trump but common sense. And I don't think it's going to work. I really don't think it's going to work. What do you think?
I pray it doesn't work, Rob, and I do feel that with the revelations of the massive fraud that's being because that's relatively new.
Oh yes.
And I mean, Doge obviously got everything rolling, but certainly what's been going on in Minnesota and the fact that, and it's as always, Rob, it is up to the Republicans to get there, and I speak for the RNC too, and they've got a lot of great people working on this, but to get the message out wherever it needs to go.
Yes, yes.
We have because if people only hear over the transom, the headline news, which is still dominated, sadly, by the so-called mainstream media, legacy media.
Sure.
You're right. They're doing everything they can to make it sound as though, under President Trump, somehow we are entering desperate times when it's exactly the opposite. But I think we can see that polling is showing that people are able to look beyond those headlines and say, wait a minute. What's happening in Minnesota and Minneapolis is not where we want our country to go.
Well, Nan, I'm just going to tell you, and I said this, and I'm right about this stuff. I know I don't have the political acumen. I've never served in public office, and I would say that's great.
That just proves you're smart, Rob.
That's great. That's great. And people are going, well, thank God, please never run for a public office. By the way, I went to the annex of the Capitol and met lawmakers for the first time in my life.
Yeah. Yes.
Honey, there is no way I would ever become a member of Congress. There's no way. The stress would just drive me nuts. Oh my God. Listen, respect those who go there to serve the people, because it is not an easy row to hoe, and you don't get paid enough to do it.
I know it.
Oh my God.
Intimately, obviously, Rob.
Oh.
And but people have asked many times over the years, what was the biggest revelation or the most profound recognition that you made, that occurred to you during your time? And honestly, Rob, the number one thing that I will say is that the quality of our elected officials is determined entirely by the American public's understanding of our Constitution.
Amen.
And of our history.
Yes.
Because if you don't understand those things, if you don't know the brilliance and wisdom of our Constitution, and we have had 250 years of history, during much of which various forms of ignorance have harmed us, and especially in the last 100 years, and especially now in the past, since 20 or so, since Barack Obama's presidency, when people thought it wasn't lovely, we'll, elect a history-making figure. It's like, well, but you have to elect a history-making figure who actually is going to put policies in place that will help us. But that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this so difficult. That's what makes the job of the elected officials so...
Yeah, because you have to work with morons. You have to work with idiots. You have to reach across the aisle and have your hand greeted by Jasmine Crockett, for God's sake. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah.
I mean, You know what I noticed?
A sensible person, right, would understand that she is, you'll forgive the term, an ass.
Oh God, yes.
She's not good for us.
No.
She's not good for the polity. She's not good for policy. She's dreadful. And the problem is we all get to vote. I have voted out of a state of ignorance, Rob. I have learned so much since I embarked on a political career.
Yep.
Generally, I voted right.
Yep.
But, when I was in my younger years, I'd say, well, this Democrat seems nice on a local level, never federal. I can vote for this person. And you know what? It was always a dumb vote. Every darn time.
Yeah, well, look what happened. You see what happened in Virginia? I moved to Virginia, okay? I moved to Washington, D.C. 6 months ago. Two weeks after I moved here, Donald Trump brings the National Guard to D.C., makes it safe. I said, I expected a welcome, nothing this big. And then Virginia goes, and they elect a Karen from hell who didn't run on any of this bull crap, like getting rid of leaf blowers that are gas-powered and naming Christopher Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So much more, Rob.
I know.
They're going to put taxes on everything that doesn't move and that does move. They are going to confiscate funds from the taxpayers' pockets in order to house local government officials. If I am not understanding,
they are also going to give free tuition to illegals.
Free.
They are getting rid of mandatory sentences on things like child molestation. This is Zoran Mandami's moist dream.
Yes, and much likelier to be inflicted upon the citizens of Virginia, because Zoran Mamdani actually is constrained by various forms of fiscal prudence that somehow managed still to exist in the state of New York.
I'm going to tell you, Dan, I've lived here 6 months, and this isn't a threat or anything. This is just a reality. There's a real good chance at the end of my apartment lease, I'll say, I'm gone. I'll move somewhere else. I'll move to Sussex County, Delaware, an island in a sea of insanity there, or West Virginia, wild and wonderful. I'm not going to live with this crap. And you know what? I think that, and then also they got a supermajority. They're going to gerrymander it. So Republicans have no vote at all. 2 million Republicans will have no say whatsoever in this madness. They're going to make Virginia into Maryland, and Maryland is a bleep hole from hell.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, it is amazing to me that they can muster up majorities who will vote for this.
Fairfax and Loudoun County. Fairfax and Loudoun County.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they had a massive temper tantrum because of the government shutdown that the Democrats pursued, and also because of DOGE.
Yep.
And I knew that all the consultancies, as soon as President Trump was elected, praise the Lord in 2024. And I have friends who are in these consultancies.
It's working.
Yes,
we need to ride this out. We need to overwhelm them with joy and patriotism. Realize that they are in their death throes. Doesn't mean we've got to be active. We've got to vote and all of that. But what we are witnessing is the implosion of a party, and it will disappear into the dustbin of history. I believe that.
I'm doing all I can we loathe the sin and love the sinner. But yeah.
Well, hang in there. I'm just telling you. I was telling people in Congress last night, even they don't know who the hell I am. I said, wait it out. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. They're killing themselves. Nan, I got to go. Nan Hayworth on Twitter. Where else can people find you? Anywhere else?
Oh, on NEWSMAX TV. I'm on a fair number of times.
All right. Well, God bless you. Good to have you on. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Wow. This stream has become a complete joke.
High demand and more stable.
We have somebody working on it. So we will see what happens. We will see what happens. Tomorrow we're supposed to have an engineer come out and look at it. I don't know. Could be Democrats doing this. I have no idea, to be quite honest. Have no idea. But anyway, thanks for watching this. I mean, honestly, it's remarkable. Let's see here. Somebody said that there were snow falling that looked like snowflakes the size of potato chips falling from the sky. I believe it was in New York. They are definitely going to be having a big snowstorm here in the eastern seaboard. Looks like a lot of snow coming down. We will see. I don't worry about it because I have a Bronco and I know how to drive in it. It's not a big deal to me. I don't worry about it at all. Thank you very much. Oh, let's see who's watching over on Rumble. Valentina, hello, Rumble. Hello, Tom K. What's going on? You guys are talking about food over here. My God. Yeah, you guys are talking a lot of food over there. Carrie Corley says, stream's sucking again. I know. Isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy? It's frustrating. Trust me, if it's frustrating for you, multiply that by 10,000. We're going to get it figured out, though. Here we go. We got to talk. Here we go.
3.5 here. Or 2.5, actually.
Okay.
Come on, feet. Start moving. Got to get me there.
Go to a daycare, and I'm instantly surprised by what we see. We arrived, and it was an industrialized building, and there was 2 daycares registered at that building. And the first thing I noticed is all the windows are blacked out, and there's no footprints in the snow of any children. There's no playgrounds or anything that would make it look like it's a child care. But above me, a sign read, open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. But there was nobody there. The doorbell did not even work. And then we continued to go to other daycares, and we noticed the same pattern. No children, blacked out windows, and one daycare, a learning center, spelled Quality Learning Center instead of Quality Learning Center.
That is Nick Shirley testifying before Congress. You should be angry beyond belief. You should be angry beyond belief. We are uncovering a fraud that makes the Soviet Union look like it was completely on the up and up. More coming up at the top of the hour, after the top of the hour, including Dr. Oz getting chased in Minnesota. Gold has gone up $30 an ounce since this morning. Started off the day at 48.08, has gone up to 48.37. All this global uncertainty, what's happening right now in Davos with Donald Trump giving the elites over there a little what for, has their panties in a bunch. And what does that mean for you? Well, it means that the price of gold is going to go up, the price of precious metals is going to go up, and right now it's on a stratospheric Hell, it might be $5,000 by the end of the week. I don't know. I'm not a prognosticator or anything, but that's kind of the direction it's going. $5,000 gold. Are you kidding me? Time to invest some money in Birch Gold. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. The rebate up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases goes until the 30th, which is coming up now in 9 days. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Get the ball rolling. An IRA in gold while you're still eligible. And before gold reaches $5,000 an ounce. This is real. This is real. This is historic. Be a part of history. Text Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. Hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show on the other side of this break. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.
now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 3 of the show. The number is 800-922-6680. I live on, within a stone's throw of the American Capitol, if you could throw a stone 7 miles. And apparently there's a big snowstorm coming. I don't know what to believe, to be quite honest. When you deal with it, I'm a Midwesterner, and so I'm used to driving in snow. When it snows 15 inches, we go bowling. All right, it's really not that big a deal. The only thing you need to worry about is other idiots who don't know how to. I'm not other idiots. I'm not an idiot, but idiots who don't know how to drive in it. And a lot of times you'll see these 4-wheel drive vehicles in the ditch because people think that because they have a 4-wheel drive vehicle that they can drive like an idiot, and then they don't know how to control it. Because I hate to tell you, just because you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle doesn't mean you're going to not be able to get through the snow. That said, we're getting all sorts of reports here about what's going to happen. Could be freezing rain, could be 3 inches of snow, could be 10 inches of snow, could be 15 inches of snow, could be Godzilla. Honestly, they're nuts. They're nuts. But there is some sort of big snowstorm coming out here. I was ready to say goodbye to winter. I've lived enough winter. But I thought, it's going to be cold. Might as well have some snow, right? Might as well have some snow. What the hell not? Remember earlier in the show, if you weren't listening, you can listen to the podcast. Definitely don't check the stream because it's been like watching Max Headroom in the 80s. But the podcast of the show, you listened to it earlier, and the president of Finland earlier said that he could defend himself, his country, and Europe could defend itself without the United States, and he's apparently backtracking.
You've said earlier that Europe can defend itself without the Americans. If it comes down...
not exact, Mike, so that's not a quote.
More or less.
Let's.
We'll go back to the transcript.
There you go. This is why I love Donald Trump, giving him a little what for. I think it's fantastic. A lot of things going on. There's hearings in the Capitol Hill with regard to fraud in Minnesota. Massive fraud in Minnesota. Also talking about ICE and how the left in Minnesota and elsewhere are attacking ICE. And the reason being is they're trying to cover up the massive fraud in states like Minnesota and, of course, California. And I mentioned, I use the analogy, it was like George Wallace standing in a schoolhouse door. This is that Democrats are trying to hide something. And that's what's really going on, is they are terrified of all this malfeasance and corruption being exposed. It is being exposed for exactly it is being exposed for exactly what it is. And then there's going to be hell to pay. And I'm not talking about the rug on Joe Biden's head. It's hell to pay, not hell to pay, as is on Joe Biden's head. That said, here's Tampon Timmy out in front of the governor's mansion, presumably waiting, hopefully praying that the authorities are going to come there and haul his rear end off. But he says to continue causing good trouble is what he calls it.
And all the friends that come to see Gus, thank you for coming out in the cold, but more importantly, thank you for standing up for me.
You're going to jail, Timmy. You're going to jail, Timmy.
Standing up for our neighbors who don't have a fence and don't have people to take them around and don't have lawyers to defend them. And for every single person who... Oh, here we go. All right. Yeah, that's good. And on behalf of When I and Gus, it's so nice to see people out here.
Yeah, you know what? Him and his wife, Imelda, they presided over the burning and sacking of Minnesota in the summer, or the winter, the summer of 2020 it was. And she said she liked the smell of the burning tires and all this. You know what karma is. Karma is real. Reaction to action. There's an action that they committed in fraud, covered it up, let it happen. The reaction's coming. The reaction is a-coming. J.D. Vance says he's going to the Twin Cities. This will be fun.
Here's the simple fact here. If you're a young parent struggling to afford childcare in the United States of America, there are programs that we have to make it easier for your kids to get in daycare, for your kids to get in preschool. Those programs should go to American citizens, not be defrauded by Somali immigrants and others. Make it hard for you to get the access to the resources you need. But number two, making it easier for people who shouldn't even be in this country to fleece the United States and our taxpayers to begin with.
Yeah, hell is just beginning to come to these miserable, wretched SOBs. Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, he decided he was going to go to Minneapolis, and I'll just let him talk.
It seems systemic in its nature. The building that we visited together, Griggs building, was a textile factory, became an office building. It's not a nice part of town. I wouldn't take my kids there to get cared for or have to do much else in business. But somehow they had 400 Medicaid offices doing business with Medicaid, charging almost $400 million to the taxpayer. That means basically each of those businesses made $1 million. You wouldn't walk in this building in the seedy part of Minneapolis. Yeah. And so I suspect there might have been others who knew this was happening, certainly collaborating with these folks.
Everybody freaking knew it.
Maybe even, I wonder, the folks who own the building, the neighborhood, I mean, someone knew. Then you start getting into the broader issue. We just talked to whistleblowers, which is chilling. You see the retaliatory tactics, the shuffling around of people who are trying to put their hands up and say, I see a problem. But at its very core, there has been a confusion about what it really means.
Yeah. Ooh, I got some news with regard to Obamacare subsidies. You have been so screwed. We have been so frickin' screwed. Taken advantage of. Oh, my God in heaven. Here's more from Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz ends up getting chased and harassed. See, this is not going to end well. This is kind of like, remember the movie Mississippi Burning? And you had the students going down there to protest all the KKK and whatnot, and then they ended up getting killed, and then the feds came in and cleaned the damn place out. That's what's happened here. That's what's happening here with this church, attack. That's what's happening with all this fraud. The good guys are coming to town. Gene Hackman's coming to town, and he's going to gut this place of all the bull crap.
Anybody out there, in the legislators, average citizen, we were chased out of buildings by car honking, people giving us the finger, following us, trying to intimidate us. Yeah. If you think you're helping Minnesota by preventing us from helping our most vulnerable citizens in America, which is our sworn job duty, right? I came into this business. I'm a doctor. I want to make sure that if you're living in the shadows in America, as Hubert Humphrey, senator from Minnesota, so beautifully proclaimed, if you're not able to help those folks living in the shadows, then you're abdicating your responsibility.
There you go. Here is Keith Ellison. A couple years ago, he's the AG, admitting that he wanted to keep money laundering. Listen to this. The money laundering happening at Minneapolis St. Paul Airport, $700 million, $1 million at a time in suitcases. He facilitated it. Listen.
You just have met officials from the Somali money transfer companies and officials from the Franken Bank. What was the discussion about, Congressman?
Well, first of all, let me say Salam Alaikum, Ilyas. It's good to be here with you with the Mogadishu Times. The discussion focused on how we can keep money flowing to Somalia.
There you go. There you go. This is from 2018.
It's the morning of March 15th. We're chasing a tip about a man who's leaving the country. Our sources tell us he just took a carry-on bag through security that was packed with $1 million cash. You can do that as long as...
That's your tax money. Oh, you son of a guns. I'll tell you what. Oh, I want people to burn for this, man. I want people to burn for this. And then there's, of course, apparently 6.4 million unwittingly enrolled Obamacare enrollees signed up for millions of health care without their consent or knowledge, and the insurance companies just reaped the profits. Oh, my God in heaven. Paragon Health Institute investigated. 6.4 million more people were enrolled in these zero premium plans that were actually eligible. 2024, 40% of people involved in fully subsidized plans use no health care services at all. It just enriched the frickin' insurance companies, and they, of course, donated to Democrats and supported Democrats. Here's Brian Blaze of Paragon Health Institute.
The American welfare state grew large and unsustainable and unaccountable
And then we had the pandemic. And during the pandemic, there was so much additional money thrown on top of those programs. So you have just underlying bad incentives. And in Medicaid, the underlying bad incentive is that states are making expenditures with mostly federal dollars. So when states spend more, they get more from the federal government. Obamacare expanded Medicaid and made those incentives worse. For the Obamacare expansion population, the federal government pays at least 90% of the total bill. So when states spend $1 of their own money, they're able to get $9 from the federal government. So all of this waste in...
Hold on, hear that again. Listen to this. The state spends $1, they get $9 from us.
Total bill. So when states spend $1 of their own money, they're able to get $9 from the federal government. So all of this waste in Minnesota, the vast majority is paid by taxpayers outside the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, this is us. According to Blaze, unscrupulous brokers and enrollment agents exploited the system by advertising cash gift cards, free coverage, collecting personal information from callers, enrolling them, often without their knowledge or consent, including fictitious individuals. Most of the enrollees never realized they had coverage because the government had paid the full premium directly to the insurers, which in turn paid substantial commissions to the enrollee entitlees, whatever. In 2024, 40% of fully subsidized plans use no health care services at all. They literally promised gift cards and stuff, signed people up, didn't tell them we're signed up, got a commission themselves, and the insurance companies got filthy rich. That's why their profits went up 1,600%. My God. Our prisons should be completely filled. We should be building new prisons to house the people who have done this to us. And we're just scratching the surface. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Do we have DeploraBella?
We got it.
Okay. It is a Rob Carson Show. Rock and roll, of course, America's gift to the world. So how about we trade it for Greenland? Yeah, because we made music not suck. You're not sitting at harpsichords anymore, for God's sake. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a good trade. Rock and roll for Greenland. We've already paid our debts to Greenland. Greenland, just give us the keys and move on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by, I should say, the one and only DeploraBella. We haven't talked to her in a while. DeploraBella, how are you?
I'm fine, and I'm laughing at that contingent that the EU sent to Greenland to fight American troops, should we seize it.
Yes.
They sent a bunch of Germans who they withdrew 2 days later.
Yes.
Would that they'd done that in World War II. And I was thinking to myself, with a sorry contingent of 1 and 2 per nation, any ROTC from one of our colleges could have taken care of them in about 5 minutes.
Yes.
In any event, I wanted to talk about the Minnesota mullahs,
please,
who have taken over the state, and Minnesota nice is a misnomer. It should be the nefarious nexus of communism and Islamism, and you see it in those heads of state who should be in jail. You've got Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, who was picked up by the communists as an acolyte and someone who could serve their interests in this country. They adopted him years ago. He adores China and their system.
Yep.
And isn't it interesting that Carney in Canada has just linked up with China for trade deals, and that Starmer has admitted, has permitted China to erect a mega embassy in London, which will serve as a base for surveillance and storing data and spying on the West. Not that they have to, because so much of the EU, especially in Western Europe, is already in league with them.
Yes.
You've got Ellison. Ellison is a member of CARE, the Muslim Brotherhood. He has long been an enemy of this country, a disgusting individual. And he said that there would be no investigations of fraud. This goes back years when reports from brave whistleblowers against whom Walz had recriminations and reprisals. He said there would be no investigations without his permission. P.S. There have been no investigations because he never gave permission. And then you have little Lord Fauntleroy Fry, the idiot. I don't know how much he is an ideologue practicing Somali language for his speeches, and how much he is just a pandering fool. But in any event, he encouraged and incited insurrection. And then you have this lovely black woman who hates white supremacists, who helped organize the invasion of a church in violation of the Faith Act, in violation of First Amendment assurances of peaceful assembly and freedom of religion, the free exercise thereof, which were violated for those Christians once again. She was giving herself a bigger salary, some 200-something thousand, and skimmed $1 million in the course of a year or two. She was supposed to be giving grants to NGOs, but she gave the biggest grant to herself. No surprise. Then you have Omar Fattah, the bug-eyed state senator from Minnesota, who said he is establishing a no-go zone. This is what Europe has. This is Malmo, Sweden. This is the Banlieues, the suburbs of Paris and France, where Muslims have taken over. Law enforcement dare not intrude. And any white person, any indigenous member of that society who dares step foot in those no-go zones can count on being raped, murdered, robbed, assaulted, or whatever, because the Islamists have taken over. They are unassimilable. They are unassimilable in our country. They are people who came here low IQ, never did anything in their own countries. Half their people live in huts. But they managed to find ways to defraud us because we are so gullible and so stupid and so complacent about the corruption that follows with the Democrat Party. And not all Republicans are immune from that either. But the biggest job for Doge would be to go into the blue states first. They are sanctuary cities. That's no different from a no-go zone. They are telling federal employees, federal agents, that they cannot enforce federal laws. This is channeling Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's the Democrats. They flipped from being racist against blacks back in the days before and after the Civil War to racist against whites today, because that's where the oppression and oppressed duality is set up for them. They have this binary way of splitting the country, polarizing it, and I'm about ready to deport and denaturalize citizens, even like Waltz, because they have no regard for this country. In fact, they hate it. They hate Western civilization.
Did you, by the way, I want to interrupt you because we're running out of time here. You heard that Kamala Harris actually asked Tim Waltz when they were vetting him very poorly if he was an agent of China. You heard that, right?
Yes, and of course he lied about his answer, because communists, that's what they do. They lie, and that's what Islamists do, and it even sanctions it in the Quran. It's called taqiyya, dissimulation. You are allowed to lie to advance the cause of your faith. And we are dhimmis. We are dhimmis. That means we have accepted second-class citizenship in our own country. And those Americans who don't understand the need for us to control Greenland are fools. They will set us up for another Pearl Harbor. If they looked at the maps and saw the melting ice patterns and the waterways that are extending and knew that Russia had spent 100 billion, whatever they spend on ice cutters to navigate that area. If they knew that the Chinese and the Russians are closing in, that the distance of a missile from that area to the White House, what did Trump say? It's about 12 minutes when it hits. And if we think that NATO and the EU is going to protect us, they haven't protected themselves.
Absolutely. Listen, we got to run. We got to run. DeploraBella, you're never at a loss for words. Substack DeploraBella. Substack DeploraBella. So good to hear from you. Everything you said is spot on, but we have to overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and let Donald Trump handle the ass kicking. Does that sound good to you?
It sounds great to me.
All right. God bless you. God bless you, girl. I appreciate you so much. Again, she's brilliant. We don't have enough time on the show to have her on, but brilliant. DeploraBella on Substack. She's genius. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Shopify. You know, for years I have had a swag line of T-shirts with catchy phrases and whatnot, and it's just been lying there. Well, I've decided to go with Shopify and actually make money with my own business. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates you can customize to match your brand instead of just having a lousy website that nobody notices like I have been doing for years. Set up fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines, create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/newsmax. Go to shopify.com/newsmax. Make building a successful business your 2026 New Year's resolution. Let me share Brian's story from Alabama. He tells us about Relief Factor. Trying it for just 3 weeks, at least 90% of my pain was gone. My pain had started to limit me at work and at home, and I'm amazed at the relief I've gotten. Those are Brian's own words, and they speak volumes about what Relief Factor can do. I've seen that kind of transformation myself, and hearing Brian's experience just reinforces why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you all. Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
First is a direct answer to the question of this panel: can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans, I mean...
How?
Well, look...
You've said earlier that Europe can defend itself without the Americans. If it comes down...
not exact, Mike, so that's not a quote.
That is the president of Finland, Alexander Stubb. And earlier in the day in Davos, he says, we don't need America. We don't need to have America defend NATO. And then later in the day, they asked the same question. He goes, I didn't say that. Oh, I just love it. I love it. It reminds me of, as I earlier mentioned in Christmas Vacation, when Randy Quaid showed up at Clark's house. Donald Trump is kind of like Randy, a smart Randy, upsetting the apple cart. He's you and I. Okay, he is you and me going into a group of elitists eating their caviar from sturgeon, and he's coming in saying, "Where's the McDonald's?" It's glorious to watch, and of course, a lot of this global uncertainty causing the price of gold. And I'm not an expert on financial matters and world markets, but my God, it's flirting with $5,000. Joining us to talk about this, Philip Patrick, who is a precious metal specialist, also works with a major sponsor of our radio program, Birch Gold. Philip Patrick, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Rob. How are you?
I'm glorious. My friend, did you think last year at this time that $4,800, it was $4,837, $4,800 gold was going to happen a year later?
Listen, I knew it was going up. I wouldn't have predicted 4,800. I'll give you that.
What about the price of silver? Silver, listen, I've had silver coins. I've had silver coins that I got. My Uncle Virgil passed away. I got some silver coins, and it's kind of like, they're there, here, whatever. Silver was $30 a year ago. It's $90 now.
150% in a year. We're up about 30% already this year. That's more than 1% a day in silver at the moment. So it's moving, and we expect it to continue to move. I think broadly, for a long time, gold and silver have been undervalued.
Yeah,
I think what we're seeing in this climate is a repricing to reality.
Well, I was reading this interesting story. The silver supply deficit is real. Mining production peaked in 2015, has been on a downward trend for a decade. Higher prices won't change that. Silver is mostly a byproduct of lead and zinc mining. Those miners don't care about silver prices. Recycling silver is not filling the gap. Industrial demand for silver keeps increasing, and it's becoming more precious, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you did a better job than I could on that. You're absolutely
I had to learn a
correct.
lot.
You hit every single sort of big point on silver, and prices still off relative to gold. Ratios running at about 50 to 1. We should be averaging in the 30s to 20s. So I think there's a lot of scope for movement in silver. Demand is increasing, as you rightly point out. Supply is decreasing because consumption's outstripped supply for a decade almost. So bodes very well for climbing prices, and investment banks are scrambling to raise their predictions. I'm seeing $135, $150 for silver. So a lot of scope for movement.
So what exactly is doing this? I mean, I speak generally of global uncertainty with regard to gold, certainly. But what exactly, I mean, this year gold is worth more than it's ever been, ever, by far. What's doing this? This is a phenomenon, my friend.
I think ultimately it's the perfect storm. There's a lot of different drivers. I think for gold, we're seeing all-time high demand from central banks. I think there's a realization, government debt isn't the safe place was. As you rightly point out, we're seeing global instability. We're seeing things in Iran, in Europe, in the Middle East. It's, this is the perfect storm. Factor in bubbles, I think, when you look closely all over the economy, a lack of safe haven, cash losing to inflation. The world is moving back to sound money in a climate with far less trust internationally, and gold is the currency when trust is lacking.
Yeah, and I don't believe they found any Bitcoin in Prince or in King Tut's tomb. So there's that. Gold has always had value. It always has, and it's just amazing. It is just amazing. You got this tension between Donald Trump and the Fed. We got some major things happening there. Do you suppose that's kind of impacting it as well? I would assume.
Listen, it's having an effect. We're talking about more instability. I understand what President Trump's doing. He's trying to drive down financing costs on the debt, but any sort of back and forth between the central government and the central bank creates fears in the markets that the central bank is not independent and may be pressured into printing more money and creating more inflation. So ultimately, I think it's a big story, but not too much is going to happen there. The administration know they can't force him out. They can't put too much pressure. So I think it's just a waiting game until Powell's out and one of the two Kevins comes in.
A lot of signals of the economy gaining strength, stronger paychecks, low unemployment, GDP's coming around. Inflation's still a little bit above target. How could both of those exist, do you suppose?
It's a strange one. We're seeing two economies at once. As you point out, they're doing a very good job. GDP's growing, inflation-adjusted wages are rising, which is really important. Unemployment is low. But at the same time, we have to remember GDP still has a lot of catching up to do after the pandemic years. So do wages, which trailed inflation for a long time. You point out inflation's still above the Fed's target. So it can be confusing, right? People are feeling frustrated, but the data says the economy looks healthy. There is a difference between lived experience and statistics. I think the risk we face at the moment is thinking positive reports mean the problem is solved, and it isn't yet solved.
I'm waiting for the day that, and I think it's very close actually, when investing in gold will be more profitable than opening a Somali daycare in Minnesota. I think it's going to happen.
We're getting close-ish, not close enough.
And you can do it without an investigation because it's completely illegal. Philip Patrick, Birch Gold, I appreciate your time today, man. I got to tell you, been working with you guys for a while, and when we started this a few years ago, I had no idea. Because I told you this. Dave Ramsey used to say gold and precious metals is the Snuggie of investments. And now it's like it makes your 401k and IRA kind of pale by comparison. I mean, it's almost more profitable than Nancy Pelosi's portfolio.
Almost.
Almost.
Like the Somali daycare said. I'm sure she's getting some gold in that thing as soon as possible.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I appreciate your time today, my friend. Thanks for all of your support here and continued success. I would ask, when do you think we're going to break the 5,000, but it looks like it could happen pretty darn soon.
Yeah, I feel much sooner than I would have predicted. I would say by mid-year before we'll hit it.
I'd say by midweek next week.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for talking to me, Dave. I appreciate you, Philip. Have a glorious day, okay?
You too. Thank you, Rob.
You bet, you bet. By the way, you can text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Right now, they're doing a $10,000, up to $10,000 rebate, depending on, how much you invest in Birch Gold. That ends at the end of the month. So did you understand what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? That's pretty powerful stuff. Pretty amazing stuff. Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.com.
Come on, Led Zeppelin. Heal me. That's a baptism by rock and roll right there. I was just thinking, we talked to Nan Hayworth last hour, and I never thought I'd be in this position that I am right now. It's a glorious thing. I remember a few years ago, I was kind of worried about becoming a national media figure because with it comes a lot of negatives and a lot of trolling and bullcrap, which, is kind of funny. If I were a much younger person, it would have bothered me. It doesn't bother me anymore. I laugh at them. I make fun of them. A lot of times if I get somebody who texts me, writes me on social media, says something awful, I'll say, my God, do you listen to yourself? Do you realize what you have become? Would your mother or father be proud of who you become? What is wrong with you? I hope that, and in all sincerity, you really need some sort of help because you aren't right now. You're not a good person. or then I just make fun of them, right? But I was talking to Nan Hayworth, former congresswoman, and I said, just stay the course. Rush used to say this. And when I was, frustrated and pulling my hair out, whatever was happening, Barack Obama was shoving Obamacare down our throats and everything. And Rush would say, stay the course, be a joyful warrior. And he had that within him, and I've got that within me. But I think what we are seeing now, and I wish Rush would have lived to see this, because we're seeing a profound, gigantic change, turning away from evil to good that we've not seen in our lifetimes. This is going to make the Berlin Wall look small by comparison. I believe it in my soul, because I waited until this age in my life to get here with you. We went through this together. I promise you. Stay the course. Overwhelm them with joy and patriotism. Let Donald Trump handle the ass kicking. There you go. But if somebody tries to bring what happened in Minneapolis into your church, I'll just say, I wouldn't just sit there and pray. So did you realize that Karens can recover? Karens can recover. Here is a report from CNN. Listen.
There's that saying, Trump was right about everything, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
This breakfast conversation, our sixth visit with Betsy Sarcone, dating back to August 2023.
Wow.
Her shift, beyond dramatic. A DeSantis, then a Haley voter, said she would vote for Joe Biden if Trump won the Republican nomination. But she changed her mind.
I think Biden probably changed me more than Trump. I think watching nothing be done, for 4 years about an open border.
Yeah. Now she gives Trump an A-, loves the immigration crackdown, just closed a big real estate sale, and thinks the economy is picking up. Sarcone laughed at Trump's 2020 election fraud claims when we first met. Another big change.
I'm starting to question the election of 2020, right?
He lost the election in 2020.
I don't know.
He lost the election in 2020.
The suburbs revolted against Trump in his first midterm, and Democrats are banking on it again. But Republicans don't have to worry about Sarcone. She likes Congressman Nunn and loves that her daughters can use a school choice plan.
Okay, there you go. So there you go. Now, on the other side of the political spectrum is another white, liberal, crazy cat woman. She's 22 years old, and listen to the life-changing things she's going to do.
I am 22 years old. I have no children, and I'm getting my tubes tied. Now, a lot of people would be very shocked by this claim.
Actually, we're grateful.
I'll tell you a few of the things that I have heard.
What's that?
That's such a permanent decision. Don't you think you're going to regret it one day?
Yeah, even more so than that stupid tramp stamp you have on your lower back.
Oh, you're going to meet a lovely man, and you're going to want children with him one day. Don't take away this opportunity to have kids. Oh, but the side effects, do you realize how invasive the procedure is?
Yeah.
Why don't you just use the pill instead? Why don't you just use one of the reversible hormonal methods? Why don't you use the coffee?
Okay, I can't hear you anymore. Just go get some help. Adopt a kitty cat. Woo! Heather McDonald. She's an authority on these things, talking about what has happened to liberal women in this country.
Psychology has known this for decades. It talks about the big 5 personality traits.
Yeah.
And this has been validated time.
And this is, I've been telling you about these women who, they have the same syndrome that women do who fall in love with death row inmates. This is beginning to crystallize. It's real. This is real. This is a mania. This is a mental disorder. These white women on social media, like the woman who said she wanted Caroline Leavitt to have her inside shredded when she gave birth the next time, she's lost her job. She's been fired from her job as a healthcare provider. I didn't play it because it was so vile. It was so disgusting. It was evil. It was evil. It was so evil that it's mentally ill. It's so evil that it's a mental illness.
Time again, one of those personality traits that are used to distinguish different human personalities and individuals is neuroticism.
Ding!
And that means you're excessively worried, you're frightened, you're...
Donald Trump is going to do this. Donald Trump is going to do that. Donald Trump is Hitler. Do you understand?
Not a risk taker. Females score way, way high on neuroticism. They're paranoid.
No.
They were the ones that gave us the trigger warnings.
Women neurotic? Are you out of your mind? Really? I'm not saying all women, just liberals.
The ones that claim preposterously that they're at risk on college campuses, which are the safest, most welcoming, most pro-female environment in human history.
That's why they always say that something terrible is going to happen. You're not safe. Do you see it? You've been driven out of your freaking minds.
We are living through a slow motion insurrection in this country in discrediting the absolutely valid, democratically approved by passing laws actions of ICE.
This is why some women on College Camp are now supporting Hamas. In New York City, there are women who are insane supporting Hamas. Okay, Hamas, terrorist organization. Wear a burqa the rest of your life, beat you, murder you, honor kill you, take away all your rights. Yeah.
I was at Columbia University on the day that the pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist encampments reached a real flashpoint. That evening there would be a assault on an administration building, and I watched thousands of zombies march around the quad underneath the grand neoclassical Butler Library, chanting robotically for 3 hours the same phrases over and over again. And what struck me immediately was that population was probably about 80% female.
Yeah.
These were females out in chanting pro-Hamas in favor of the most misogynist, the most patriarchal force on earth, which is Islamic terrorists. Females are certainly cracking up in this society.
You on the left, you've got crazy cat ladies and the emasculated men in their lives. On our side, we've got real men and real women, and we are going to win this. We're going to beat them back. We are going to put them down, and we're going to end this nonsense. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, guys. Let me get you up here. Hi, Facebookers. Good to see ya. Who's watching? View more comments. I've got lots of comments over here. Prani, good to see you, Prani. You were chat. Brett Fiedler, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. I'm sorry for the streaming issues. Hopefully they'll get taken care of. Gary McGovern, hello. Thanks for watching. David Lynch. David Lynch. No kidding. I thought he just died. Gary McGovern. Good to see you, as I mentioned. And America Marcy. I'm not sure who you are. Velmergan. You might want to shorten that up a little bit. I don't know who you are. Karma Bish. Lead is worth more than gold. Okay. Yeah, you're just being an idiot. You're just being an idiot, Karma Bish. You troll. You're a troll. Yeah, you're a troll. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Trolly Trollerson. Wow, why would you say something stupid like that? Because you're stupid. Mo MI67, what's going on? Dookie Bear, what's going on? Thanks for joining me today, guys. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Tomorrow morning, we have an engineer coming to fix the stream. Presumably, we will get the stream fixed. I hope so. Because I know that you enjoy the show and that you like to be uninterrupted altogether. All right, let me find what we're going to talk about here, kids. I know I got some important stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just looking to decide what I'm going to talk about here. All right, here we go.
Give it 2.5.
Here's some good news. University president warns that a quarter of American colleges and universities will be closing in the coming years. This is happening. This is what we've been waiting for. You've had a monopoly on higher education. They've moved substantially to the left. You've got kids here who are graduating from universities with worthless degrees, no careers, and $100,000, $200,000 in debt. 20 to 25% of American colleges and universities are going to close their doors. Basically, what's happening is higher education is undergoing a transformation. It shouldn't abuse the privilege. Yeah, the president of Brandeis University is the person who was saying this. For instance, Indiana is eliminating over 400 low enrollment degree programs, except for at the football program. I think they're going to be hiring. Shifting those resources to support trade education. Good idea. Good idea. Traditional higher education, we've known it. Research universities, residential colleges are where the transformation is happening, and they are shifting to trade school. And I'm going to tell you right now that there is a lot of satisfaction to building things and a hard day's work where you come home and you need to shower after work, not before work. There is a great deal of satisfaction. And, George W. Bush, he's a moron. He said that there are jobs Americans won't do, and they moved manufacturing out of our country, and they made everything cubicle jobs and degrees and nothing. And consequently, a generation of kids has been raised to think that manual labor is a terrible thing, but you can make a buttload of money right now, depending on what you want to do, working at the assembly line at a Ford plant, whatever, and you can get a great deal of satisfaction, raise a family, and pay your bills, make six figures, which is more than some people I know graduating with degrees who have $200,000 in debt. So it's good. The entire thing is changing. We're going through an enormous change like we've never expected. We've never experienced in our lives. It'll make the Berlin Wall pale by comparison. But again, we've got to stay positive, patriotic, overwhelm the left with joy and patriotism. I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, and comedy, and Donald Trump can do the butt kicking. How's that sound? I think it sounds great. Have a glorious day. God bless you. America is found in Donald Trump and what he's doing for this country. And until tomorrow, which is Thursday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is NEWSMAX. It's real news for real people.